If you want luxury, then you need to buy a Forza 750. Honda updated it for 2025 and I had the chance to test it today in Sicily. I'll tell you what it can and can't do in this video. Welcome to 1000 PS TV, and if you're wondering, Horvath, we've seen this background and this spot before, you're right. That's because today I was able to ride both the X-ADV and the Forza, and the video for the X-ADV should already be online. So if you're interested in that model, go ahead and check our channel where you'll find the video. But I also got to try the GT model, the luxury Forza 750. It's been updated for 2025 with a substantial facelift. And just like with the X-ADV, let's go over it now. Let's start with the front. The Forza used to have quite distinct lion-shaped headlights, but that's changed. Now, we have a nearly continuous LED strip, dual LED headlights, and integrated indicators in the daytime running lights. At first glance from photos, we thought, well, the daytime running lights look relatively dim. But I can reassure you, in person they are really bright, so you can actually drive without the main headlights. The daytime running lights are completely sufficient. So, new front mask, new face, and it looks good. Personally, I find it a bit easy to confuse with other models, as this design is something I've seen a few times in the scooter world. But that's just how things are today. It's the current norm. Moving on to the massive windshield, Honda thankfully listened to their customers here, as it wasn't adjustable before, and now it can be adjusted electronically. We've seen it on the Forza 125 and Forza 350, which already had this adjustable windshield. And now, on the 2025 750 model, we also get it. It can be adjusted up or down by 120 millimeters, controlled via buttons on the left handlebar. It's not the most intuitive system, and I'll explain why during the ride. Let's move on to other updates. Right in front, there's the new 5-inch color TFT display. I say new because it's new to the Forza. It's a well-known Honda unit we've seen before. It's easy to read and offers all functions. Unfortunately, it doesn't support Apple CarPlay or Android Auto like the Africa Twin, but we do have Honda Road Sync. This is Honda's own app, which lets you use turn-by-turn navigation, take calls, and enjoy the whole connectivity package. There's also a new USB-C charging port near the handlebar, whereas it used to be under the seat. And Honda has included backlit controls, making everything easy to read, plus 2 buttons Forza owners will love, a cruise control. It activates at 50 kilometers per hour, though some people wish it would work at 30 kilometers per hour. But that's Honda's classic safety feeling. It's only active at 50 kilometers per hour on the Forza. To activate it, press a button on the right, then set the speed on the left. Another update on the Forza is the plastic panels. The whole fairing has been redesigned, with much of it made from recycled materials. Honda uses something called Durabio, made from either non-edible corn or recycled old Honda bumpers, creating the black plastic we see here. Another update, and one that tall riders will appreciate, are the new footrests. They've been made larger and the front fairing has been slimmed down so you can fit your feet with large shoes. Unfortunately, you still can't fully stretch your legs as the fairing sticks out. But I do have more space for my feet now. My shoe size is 43 and this works well for me. I also checked with colleagues with larger shoes and they confirmed it's comfortable enough. The seat height is 790 millimeters. With my 1.75 meters height, I can comfortably touch the ground and have the controls in front of me. So that's about it for the Forza's updates. Although I want to mention one more detail that the Honda engineers are quite proud of. Now, under the seat, there are 2 dampers to lift it up. It's stable and solid, though the seat still has a slight flex to save on weight. And maybe it's also made from this material, I'm actually not sure, so it wobbles a bit. Under the seat, we have a large storage compartment. Well, large, I'm not sure if I should say that. You can fit a full face helmet in there, but for a scooter of this size, it's not exactly enormous. On the plus side, we have a new LED light, which provides ample visibility. Lastly, when it comes to storage, there's also a glove compartment up front. I can show you here with a Samsung S22 Ultra, a relatively modern smartphone that's 2 or 3 years old, it fits just fine. So if you have something larger, you might need to check with your dealer, but if you're okay with something a bit dated, it works. That's pretty much it for the updates on the Forza. I'd say you're interested in knowing how it rides, so let's switch to the GoPro. I took it out in the city, on the highway, and on some country roads. Let's see how it performs. Hello from the seat of the new Honda Forza 750 here in Sicily. We've had the chance to ride it today. You've already heard some of the updates, but now it's really about the ride. How does this new Honda scooter handle? First off, let's talk technical details. In terms of the frame, suspension, brakes, and engine, not much has changed. We're essentially talking about a facelift for the new Forza rather than a complete overhaul. So we still have the 2-cylinder engine with 59 horsepower and 69 Newton meters of torque. The engine retains the 270-degree crankshaft offset, meaning it's well suited for regular road use. As you can see, quick overtaking maneuvers are no problem, but the DCT transmission has been updated to respond more smoothly at lower speeds. This means when you're in the city and just starting off, that initial jerkiness the DCT sometimes had is now gone. You can start off smoothly in the city without that harsh initial jolt. This was something people rightly criticized, and now it's been resolved. You can now cruise around the city comfortably. Moreover, we have multiple ride modes on board: rain, standard, sport, and several user modes. According to the Japanese engineer we spoke with this morning, the rain mode isn't only meant for wet conditions, but works well in urban settings too. In this mode, the safety systems intervene a bit sooner, limiting power and making throttle response even smoother, so you can enjoy a relaxed ride with the Forza. One of the standout features of the Forza is still its drive concept. Unlike many competitors that use CVT transmissions, this maxi scooter has a dual clutch transmission. This means you can ride it quite sportily. I'm currently in automatic mode and don't have to do anything, but I can still shift gears manually with the buttons on the left. I can also switch to fully manual mode, where the system doesn't intervene automatically at all. This is especially enjoyable on the beautiful mountain roads here in Sicily, as it allows you to increase engine braking when needed. And, as expected from Honda, it works perfectly. This is the GT transmission, and Honda has a long history with it, making it work exceptionally well. As for other changes to the Forza, I mentioned earlier that we have an electrically adjustable windshield. Unfortunately, it's not quite as user-friendly as I would have liked. On other Honda Forza models, like the 125 and 350, there's a toggle switch for easy adjustment. But here, you either have to go into the submenu to adjust it or use a quick button, a star symbol displayed on the screen, which you can press and hold to access the windshield menu and adjust it. It's not as well designed as on the smaller models, but once you get the hang of it, you can adjust it without looking. You don't always have to look at the display, so it's well designed. Right now, we're just at a slow speed, and you can already see how easy the Forza is to handle. I'm doing all of this one-handed. It's a large scooter, a maxi scooter in this class, but thanks to the finely tuned DCT transmission, the suspension setup, and the geometry of the bike, I can comfortably use it at low speeds in the city. Even with a Ferrari next to me, I'm not slower. So, while the Forza is a big scooter, it's still very well suited for city riding because it's so accessible. But now, going down this Sicilian mountain in a line of cars isn't all that exciting. I'll catch up with you on the highway, where I'll show you just how comfortable the new Forza really is. Welcome to the highway entrance here in Sicily. The scooter is in sport mode, as you can see. holding the gears longer to showcase acceleration. This also means I'm raising the windshield. How's the wind protection on the new Forza? With the windshield fully raised, I have to say, it's phenomenal. I'm 1.75 meters tall and only feel a slight breeze at the top of my helmet. I should mention though that I received some accessory parts this morning, including side bags and wind deflectors on the side fairing. This means I don't feel any wind on my legs at all, very comfortable. But on the highway, we're really interested in the new cruise control. It's very easy to activate. Turn it on with the switch on the right and set the speed with the left thumb, and off we go cruising. A very simple cruise control, easy to use and a real enhancement for the Forza. Now, let's leave the highway and head to the final part of this onboard segment, the twisty roads. Now we're on some winding roads here in Sicily. Right away you can tell that the new Forza remains the stable scooter we know and appreciate. As I've mentioned, the Forza with the DCT transmission already promises a certain sportiness, and with the chassis components, it truly shows what it's capable of. Honda emphasizes that it's not just a scooter, it's a motorcycle with a scooter's bodywork. After all, it's built on the NC platform, meaning it shares the NC 750X's framework, essentially a motorcycle with storage. Returning to its handling on winding roads, it's simply fun. You get the sense that this vehicle is very capable on a tour. It's not just a city vehicle that's a bit more stylish and well equipped. It offers genuine sportiness and above all stability. You feel very confident riding this scooter, and that stability is noticeable when braking into a turn. It performs like a real motorcycle. The only difference is you can't brace with your knees, since the Forza 750 is, after all, a scooter with a relatively high step through and no central tank to hold on to. It's a real pleasure to ride, and even though I'm currently stuck behind a truck and can't overtake, this Honda Forza is a fun companion on country roads. Of course, you'll eventually be limited by the lean angle, which isn't as high as on a motorcycle, but it still offers plenty of enjoyment in curves on the open road and truly achieves a versatile trifecta. It performs well in the city thanks to the newly adjusted DCT transmission, allows comfortable commuting on the highway, and has enough punch, suspension capability, and braking power to make country road riding genuinely enjoyable. That's all from the saddle. So, those were the impressions of the new Honda Forza 750. Where does all this leave us? Well, Honda has done a really nice job updating it, I must say. The Forza is a popular model for all these maxi scooter riders, especially because of the DCT transmission. You can really ride it sportily, and it's genuinely fun due to its high stability. But they improved it exactly where it was needed, mainly with the adjustable windshield for wind protection and the cruise control, which can be especially helpful on longer stretches, particularly if you're commuting on the highway. No further upgrades are needed, which is a good thing. Personally, I just wish that in the next update, they add a small switch to adjust the windshield like on the Forza 350, so I don't always have to go into the submenu. But I think that's a champagne problem, and ultimately the customers and you in the comments will decide if you feel the same way. Do you think Honda's solution for the windshield is okay as it is? Yes or no? I'd love to hear your thoughts. And of course, your opinion on the Forza would interest me too. In Austria, it costs 12,990 euros, and there are plenty of accessories to upgrade it with. For example, we've got fog lights on this model which look really sleek, and there's no end to what you can add. You can configure it with luggage systems, heated grips, and so on. But definitely your opinion is what matters. Has Honda gone in the right direction? Did they choose the right upgrades for the Forza? I'd love to know. Personally, I think it's a meaningful update for an already very good scooter. That's it from me. Leave your thoughts in the comments, and we'll see each other in the next video. Thanks so much for watching, and as I mentioned, if you want to see more on the X-ADV, head over to the channel, as that video should already be online, and it's a real eye-catcher. Until next time, see you in the next video. Goodbye and see you soon.